top story, four-star linebacker out of Starkville has decommitted from Ole Miss. We'll have more on that coming up later in the show.
Are you ready?
Welcome to Rebel Watch. I'm Kelsey Davis, and joining me today is Fred Nettles and Jacob Duke. Guys, today's kind of been really sad. There was no one in any of my classes. It's been pretty miserable. Did you guys expect to see Ole Miss 3-4 at this point?
Well, honestly, Kelsey, I did personally. To be honest, I knew there was a possibility that something like this would happen, especially with the Ole Miss Rebels losing 3 first-rounders last season.
What do you think, Jacob?
That was a tough loss in Baton Rouge. I was there for the game. It was awful, just all the LSU fans yelling at you. And then, I mean, Ole Miss just lost Willie Gay. That's going to be a tough loss right there.
Absolutely. And before we get into this past Saturday's matchup, like you said, let's talk about Willie Gay, 4-star linebacker from Starkville. Willie Gay has decommitted from Ole Miss. Fred, this is obviously the thinnest position for the Rebels. So how do you see this affecting the program?
In my opinion, Kelsey, this is just the start of a ripple effect for what's to come with the current commits, as well as the future commits for the Rebels, especially with the NCAA still looming. So unless the Rebels can get a solid linebacker recruiting coach in the near future, the struggles will continue trying to find solidarity at the position.
And Jacob, no one has committed to Ole Miss since August, and 3 people have actually decommitted since September. So do you think this is kind of starting a trend?
That is not a trend you want to start. I said they're not trending in the right direction right now. You know, they're coming off last year's class. It was one of the top classes in the nation. Really, right now they have D.D. Bowie committed. Willie Gay gone. He's looking at Michigan. He's going to have some visits with Florida State and Florida. He does have another visit with Ole Miss again, November 26th. Maybe, Ole Miss can bring him back in, but right now, things aren't looking too good with this recruiting class so far.
Right, and a lot of people are questioning where does the program even go from here, so let's take a look at all the happenings from Saturday night in Death Valley. As we said, it is Ole Miss and LSU, and here you have Ty Kelly to Van Jefferson on the touchdown.
Oh yeah, Kelsey, the Rebels are jumping out early as they've done all season.
And here you see Leonard Fournette take off against the Rebels. He busts a long 58-yard touchdown run. He just couldn't be stopped, guys.
Kelsey, that's a bad man right there. Fournette's fresh off that ankle injury, showing Ole Miss what he can do.
Now here is LSU QB Danny Etling to DJ Chark for the 40-yard pass for the touchdown.
Oh yeah, Kelsey, as I stated earlier, the Rebels are young in the secondary, and you see right here, as well as Miles Hartfield is getting into it with Marquise Hayes on the sideline. Those guys are relentless.
Things are getting a little bit chippy in here. You see Fournette take a 76-yard touchdown run. There he goes again, guys.
Fournette just busted off big runs. The offensive line was getting holes for him. Ole Miss defense just couldn't stop him. He had 3 touchdowns on the night. Big night for Fournette.
Ole Miss just couldn't get the job done. Let's hear what head coach Hugh Freeze had to say.
Come out in the second half and put together all three facets of the game, and their breakdowns. You know, in all 3. We had some breakdowns, obviously, in the first half, 2 defensively and offensively. We gave them the explosive plays and the scores. It's an excellent football team. They're going to win a lot of games with upperclassmen. They're really good at the line of scrimmage on both sides. And we've got to really look at ourselves hard, coaches and players, and figure out why we're not putting together complete games.
And y'all, here we are again asking what went wrong with the Rebels. Overall, it just was not a pretty game, and here we are faced with the problem of not putting together a complete game. The offense didn't score a single point in the second half, which is just not going to get the job done. Fred, what do you think is wrong with this offense? Is it just a lack of execution?
Kelsey, especially coming out of the second half, I think teams they have more time to adjust to the type of offense that the Rebels are running, as well as the inexperience on both the offensive line as well as the secondary in our defense. So I just think we need the Rebels need to get a little more experience, and they'll be just fine.
Jacob, what do you think is the answer if the Rebels want to turn around what's left of this season?
Well, offensive struggle, there's been way too many turnovers. I know Chad Kelly's been trying to make plays, but just turn over the ball in the red zone. He did that a couple of times against LSU. Just big turnovers in key moments. It just stall drives. The offense just, can't move the ball because of those turnovers, obviously. And, it's just like there was a play against LSU. Jason Pellerin came in. Ole Miss is driving down the field. I think plays like that maybe should be limited. It seems like it just really stalled the drive. LSU took all momentum, just ran away with it. On defense, they're giving up way too many big plays. You have to stop the run game. And with Auburn coming to town, put up 540 yards on Arkansas. So, they're going to have to stop the run game this weekend.
Right, and as you heard Jacob say, Auburn is coming to town this weekend, and when we come back, we'll take a look at Ole Miss football's next opponent, the Auburn Tigers. Keep it locked on RebelWatch.
I'm Jasmine Murray, and I care about Mississippi's children. Studies show that if children can't read at grade level by the end of 3rd grade, they're 4 times more likely to drop out of school. But you can help. Read with a child in your life today, or volunteer as a school reading partner. Invest your time in a child's life for a brighter tomorrow. Learn more at strongreadersms.com.
I'm Governor Phil Bryant, letting you know that strong readers today can become the strong leaders for tomorrow.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans. These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids. Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. So is the solution.
It's Hunger Action Month, so click share below to pass along this video and play your role in ending hunger.
Get your game on, get your game on. Get your game on, get your game on. Get your game on, get your game on. Get your game, get your game on. Go, go.
Welcome to Mississippi 511.
Get your game on with M.Dot Travel Resources. For more info, visit mdottraffic.com.
We are Rebels. For more than 160 years, we've been accomplishing the impossible, from conducting the world's first lung transplant to helping prove Einstein was right. From preserving the past to saving the future. We are Mississippi's flagship university, a place where passion and learning unite, where friends become family, where small-town charm meets world-class innovation. We are the University of Mississippi. We are Ole Miss.
Meet Lyle. Lyle's a smart guy about to do something really dumb.
Oh, I love this game. How many words? Give me a sounds like. Do something different. I'm just not getting it.
Look, I'm no expert, but have you guys ever played charades?
Oh. Fire prevention is everyone's responsibility. Obey all burn bans. Trim overhanging tree limbs. Don't keep firewood or other fuel close to your house.
I think the mentality would be all gas, no brakes. We've been working out a bunch with Ben Fleming, Strength Ben, try to get bigger, faster, and stronger for the season. That's how we go about it. We want to work out and we want to get better. We want to get faster, we want to get stronger so we can go to Omaha and we can win a national championship. I play the game because I love it. It's the best game in the world. You can fail 70% of the time and be a Hall of Famer. And I think that's how you got to play baseball at this level. It's a game. It should be fun and we should enjoy it.
and Sam Butler from the Auburn Plainsman is joining us on the phone today. Sam, thank you so much for talking to us. Let's jump right into it. Now, Auburn comes to town this weekend, so can you tell me who some playmakers on Auburn are to look out for?
You got to start in the backfield. They've got 4 or 5 running backs back there, all underclassmen. You start with Kerryon Johnson. He's been the starter the whole season, but last week against Arkansas, he was held out of the game with some nagging effects from an ankle injury he suffered against Mississippi State. So behind him, you've got Cameron Petway, who last season was a fullback, but he converted to running back this year, and he's been perfectly capable in Kerryon's stead. He rushed for nearly 200 yards last week against Arkansas. So you've got him, and then behind him, you've got Stanton Truitt, who is a converted receiver, and you've got a freshman in Cam Martin. So you've got to really look out for the stable of running backs that Auburn's got back there.
Hey Sam, Fred here. Auburn's run game looked great this past weekend. Over 500 yards from Arkansas. Is this run game legit?
It is absolutely legit. After that 543-yard performance, to be exact, against Arkansas, they're now number 3 in the country in rushing offense, and that was without their starting running back, like I mentioned earlier. Whatever problems Gus Malzahn had with the offense to start the season off, those things are pretty much non-existent anymore. Ever since he handed play calling over to offensive coordinator Rhett Lashley, this Auburn offense has been clicking. They've been able to get whatever running lanes they want down in the middle in the trenches with that offensive line. And Johnson, Petway, and the rest of that crew, they've been able to just run over opponents so far. And I think they're might be licking their chops looking at what Ole Miss has been doing lately.
Hey, Sam, it's Jacob. You know, Auburn's been running this 3-quarterback system all season. So who will the Rebels see at quarterback this Saturday?
It's Sean White. The 3-quarterback system was a failed experiment that he rolled out pretty early on and decided it wasn't going to work. So they stuck with Sean White, and ever since that happened, Sean White has been one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the nation. I think he was in the top 10 before last game. He didn't do too well against Arkansas, but they didn't need to. He was only like 6 of 11 for 77 yards. But like I said, they didn't need to pass at all, so he didn't really have anything to do there. But yeah, he's completing something like 70% of his passes. Everything's been open because teams have to worry so much about the running game that he's been able to sit back in the pocket and find his open receivers. So it's definitely going to be Sean White, and that's who it's going to be the whole season.
Thanks, Sam. So guys, let's break down this Auburn Tigers team. Honestly, going into the season, I was not terribly convinced of them, but they beat LSU. They whooped up on Arkansas this past weekend, and they put up on some convincing points on ULM State. So Fred, do you think this Auburn offense could cause some problems for that young Rebel secondary and the young Rebel defense?
Kelsey, for the Ole Miss secondary, no. But for the entire defense, yes. As we saw last week against LSU, this Rebel defense has tons of ailments that needs to be corrected, and that can only come with more reps and experience in games with the young secondary that starts 4 freshmen and 4 other underclassmen.
Right, and Jacob, even in their 2 losses, they did not give up a ton of huge plays on defense. You saw A&M just kind of chip away at them with field goals. So how do you expect them to match up with that defense to match up with such an explosive offense that is really driven by big plays?
You know, despite what you saw at LSU, this Ole Miss offense is explosive, and I think there will be big plays. You know, Auburn D will try to contain it, but I think, honestly, Chad Kelly will make big plays. You know, they'll have to force turnovers and get Chad Kelly out of his rhythm. That will be key, because if they can stop the passing game, then the Ole Miss offense is just done. You've seen the running game. They've really struggled. If they can stop Chad Kelly from passing the ball, create turnovers, I think this Auburn defense could get it done.
Right, and you won't see him in Rebel uniform this year due to NCAA transfer rules, but the future of Ole Miss basketball may rest on the 7-foot shoulders of Dominic Olenichek, a transfer from Drake University in Iowa. Matt Barnhouse has the story.
Dominic Olenichek is a big man who's been many places. The 7-footer has moved from Poland to Drake University in Iowa to Ole Miss in a little over a year. Despite this, Olenichek does not get as homesick as one might think.
Not really. I mean, actually, we live in 21st century, so I can call Skype, FaceTime, whatever I can do to call my mom every time when I want. Parents, not just mom, but parents. Whoever I want, basically, in Poland, I do not get homesick at all.
On the court, assistant coach Todd Abernethy has nothing but praise for the Polish center.
Dom is 7 feet, so he's I would describe his game as powerful, but he has a very soft touch around the basket. He shot over 70% from the field, which means he scores everything. You know, there are rare times that he misses. So he's very powerful. He's got a really good touch, and he's got really good feet, which for a big man his size, it's very hard to come by.
Ole would not be here if it weren't for Polish national teammate and former Rebel Tomasz Gielo. Gielo was instrumental in the recruiting process.
We really did everything that we told Tomasz we would do, and so I think that was a big trust factor for Dom. He came here. Obviously, you gotta love the school, you gotta love the community, and for Dominic, the basketball program was a huge piece, and because of the success that Tomasz had the year before, that just verified that we were a place that would do what we said and wouldn't just lie to him to get him here.
This has been Matt Barnhouse reporting for RebelWatch, Ole Miss.
When we come back, we'll be taking a look at a solid weekend in high school football around the county. Keep it here.
And I believe that runs deeper than just social graces. The spirit of Mississippi lies in the work of our hearts and hands in service to our communities. Throughout 2013, we hope you'll join us along with Mississippians across our state in Volunteer Mississippi, a year-round pledge to invest our time and skills in our great state. Visit volunteermississippi.org to learn more. Volunteer Mississippi.
William Faulkner was not only an incredible American writer and recipient of a Nobel Prize, he is Oxford, Mississippi's most notable resident. Starting at the lined entryway of H. Cedars, Rowan Oak, William Faulkner's estate, is a National Historic Landmark. You can tour this antebellum home and its 29 acres of beautiful magnolia trees and other native Mississippi plants year-round. Feel free to run or walk the Bailey's Trail behind the home, which will come out by the University of Mississippi Museum. Or you can also stop by William Faulkner's grave in the St. Peter's Cemetery.
One of the things that we know about reading, particularly in the K through 3 area, is that's when you are learning to read. Then we know that once you hit 3rd grade, that's when you're reading to learn.
When parents spend time with their kids, those kids tend to be more and more successful.
Being a strong reader, it impacts our state's economy, and it also ensures that our students are able to have meaningful lives.
I remember as a small boy from Moorhead, Mississippi, the rest of the world became alive when I started reading.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
It's Hunger Action Month, so click share below to pass along this video and play your role in ending hunger.
Welcome back to RebelWatch. This past Friday, the Oxford Chargers took a trip down to Clarksdale High School to keep their winning streak going. Let's roll the highlights. And this is former Ole Miss Rebel and Chicago Bear Terrence Metcalf, and he had his jersey retired by his former high school there in Clarksdale.
Oh yeah, here we have G.R. McClure warming up. This kid had a huge night on offense.
So starting off the game in the first quarter, Oxford is driving in the red zone, and J.R. McClure finds tight end Joe O'Keefe over the middle for a touchdown.
Great pass right there, Kelsey. It's great for Oxford to go ahead and get up and score early.
Now, very next possession, Clarksdale QB Terrence Humphrey has the answer. He runs it in from 5 yards out.
Oh yeah, this kid is just a sophomore. I heard he's DK Metcalf's cousin.
Now, second quarter, Oxford moving the ball through the air. J.R. McClure finds Jaquan Webb for the long touchdown pass. It's 13-7, Oxford Chargers.
Again, another great pass by McClure. Hiram Waddington sideline with injuries. You know, the guy get the passing game going.
Now Clarksdale is driving in the second quarter as the QB Humphreys fumbles at the 1-yard line. Oxford defense would come up big, and this is just one of those plays.
Oh yeah, this is a huge defensive stance for the Oxford Chargers. They were playing well all night.
Now third quarter, Oxford still has the lead, but DQ Thomas makes another huge play for the Charger defense at midfield with the interception. They would force 3 turnovers on the night.
Yeah, DQ Thomas has been making big plays all season. He is a monster on the defensive side of the ball. Keeps making turnovers.
Now late in the game, Oxford's just trying to put this one away. It's third down, and J.R. McClure finds Joe O'Keefe again for the final 27-13. Let's go to Max McCann with the post-game report.
Welcome to the Rebel Watch post-game report. I'm Max McCann, joined here by DQ Thomas, linebacker of the Chargers. DQ, you know, y'all's defense played great tonight, forcing a bunch of turnovers. What was y'all's game plan going into tonight, and how did you execute it?
Well, we knew that quarterback can create big plays, and we knew number 5 can create big plays. So once we contained them and we played a good overall defense, we knew we had the game.
All right, so now y'all are on a 4-game winning streak, heading towards playoffs now, hopefully. Early on, y'all are a young team. As a senior leader, was there anything you did to help turn this around and, you know, make y'all start winning again?
I mean, I just try to get into the young guys' head. We got to finish, you know. You start off at the bottom, but you can end up on top. So if we keep playing hard like we do and practicing hard, we can go a long way.
All right, thanks, CQ. You can catch Oxford next Friday against Center Hill at 7 o'clock at Bobby Holcomb Field. For Rebel Watch post-game report, I'm Max McCann.
Y'all, the Chargers were in a rut there for a minute, but give it to J.R. McClure, who has really turned his game around. This is their 4th win in a row, but the real stars of the show Friday night were the defense. Fred, what impressed you about this Oxford D?
Kelsey, definitely their ability to create turnovers. They sort of have this this bend but don't break defense, and that mentality, and then boom, and then boom, they either get a fumble or an interception. And in doing so, they give their offense a shorter field to work with and to execute more efficiently.
And Jacob, like we said, this is the 4th win in a row, and they're looking forward to next week against Center Hill. What do you think the Chargers need to do, and do you think they can keep this up and make a run at it in the playoffs?
Well, J.R. McClure has really matured as a quarterback. He's been stepping up and making plays. Hiram Wylandton has an injury right now to his knee. He's going to have to get healthy before they get to the end of the season or into the playoffs. But I think this team can go pretty far, and they're clicking at the right time right now.
And Lafayette High School sewed up a close game against Senatobia this past Friday. Let's take a look at the highlights. Okay, here comes the Lafayette Commodores, really excited about this game against Senatobia. Now midway through the first quarter, it's 3rd down and long, and Cooper Stevens tosses it up, but Carmichael Williams comes down with it for the Doors.
Oh yeah, Tyler Carmichael Williams, he actually got the interception on Tulane commit Travis Tucker, and this defense has been rolling all season.
Now second quarter, 3rd down and goal, still 0-0, but Jamarcus Corals, he tries to go in, but he fumbles it on the end zone, and Senatobia recovers.
Yeah, you don't see Corals cough the ball up. That's an important turnover. Turnovers are really key in this game. You have to get the ball and force turnovers if you want to win this ball game.
And as you can see, the Senatobia fans were excited about it. Now Cooper Stevens launches it to Travis Tucker. Tucker outruns the defender and ends up with a 75-yard touchdown on this play. Excuse me, he's going to go for a 75-yard touchdown. There, that's Travis Tucker.
Kelsey got run over by a ref on that one.
I did. Okay, I took one for the team there. But now late 3rd quarter, Lafayette is driving on the field, and Ard hits Tay-Tay Owens on the slat outside, and he will burst up to make it 7-7 for the Lafayette Commodores. Now here is Robert Langley. This meant a lot to his family with the field goal. That would be the difference maker in this one as Lafayette wins the game and takes it home 17-14. Let's hear what Coach Mike Fair had to say after the game.
Guys, we're setting a foundation here to really do some good things this year. Okay, this year. So we've got to work got some things to clean up. Okay, so let's enjoy this one tonight. How about that? Let us worry about all that. We'll work on the next one, Mike. Okay. All right, there you go. Y'all enjoy it. I'm proud of you. Right off. Two trophies down. Two trophies down.
Friday night's game was important for many. It was senior night, breast cancer awareness night, and the Commodores won the regional title after defeating the Senatobia Warriors, where head coach Mike Fair formerly coached. But for one Lafayette football player, this game meant more than just a victory. Rebel Watch reporter Daniela Oropeza has more on this story.
For Robert Langley Jr., Friday night's game was not only about senior night, nor clinching the regional title.
Today's 10 years without my dad, and every game I look in the stands and he's not there.
October 21st of this year marked the 10th year since University Police Officer Robert Langley died in the line of duty. A memorial service was held to honor the fallen where family, friends, and co-workers gathered. However, the memorial did not end there. To Robert's surprise, members of the University Police Department and Oxford Police Department showed support for Robert before the game's coin toss, where Robert represented the Commodores as an honorable captain.
No, I didn't know it was going to be that many. They told me that a few were going to be there, but as many as there were, I had no idea. And that really means a lot. That they take their time and come and support. It's awesome.
Robert is a kicker for the Commodores, and when the offense couldn't quite make it into the end zone, it was his time to shine.
I knew it was going to come down to a field goal sometime in this game. I mean, they told me, and I knew it. And I've been preparing and focusing. And when I went out there, the only thing I think about is everything. I didn't hear nobody talk. I didn't hear his fans. I didn't hear anything. I just saw a big neon goalpost and a golden ball, and I just kicked it. And I knew as soon as my foot hit, I knew it was going in.
In the end, the Lafayette Commodores defeated the Senatobia Warriors 17-14.
He's out there in heaven looking down at me, and I just do everything for him. I just come out here, and it's my happy place. Like when I kick, it's like I can feel him with me. So I ain't gonna stop kicking.
For Rebel Watch, I'm Daniela Oropeza.
After we return, we'll be talking top 5 plays. Keep it locked on Rebel Watch.
Jasmine Murray, and I care about Mississippi's children. Studies show that if children can't read at grade level by the end of 3rd grade, they're 4 times more likely to drop out of school. But you can help. Read with a child in your life today, or volunteer as a school reading partner. Invest your time in a child's life for a brighter tomorrow. Learn more at strongreadersms.com.
I'm Governor Phil Bryant, letting you know that strong readers today can become the strong leaders.
Here are the top 5 plays from around the county this week. Let's take a look. As I said, this is the top 5 plays of the week. Now, number 5 is Oxford Chargers quarterback J.R. McClure. His pass is picked off by Burge for Clarksdale. That's a great pick, guys.
Oh yeah, this kid had a huge night on the defensive side and the offensive side of the football.
Now here is number 4, DQ Thomas. He is picked off this Clarksdale pass. That is another big play on defense for the night.
Yeah, DQ Thomas making big plays. That's what he's been doing all season.
Now again, another big defensive play, guys. Tyler Carmichael Williams gets on the end of that interception for the Commodores.
Oh yeah, Kelsey, this kid is a great all-around athlete.
And here is Leonard Burnett. This is absolutely disrespectful. He makes Deontay Anderson look like such a freshman. Number 2, he deserves that. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's Jamarcus Quarles in the ref.
Welcome to the SEC, young man.
Now, number 1 is this Clarksdale diving catch from Burge. As you heard Fred say, he had a big night on offense also. That was a great catch for the top play of the week.
Oh my.
Now, as we had a Twitter poll this week, and we asked our Twitter followers, which bowl do you see the Rebs going to? 37% of you said Liberty Bowl, 29% of you said Music City Bowl, 6% said Belk Bowl, and 28% said the BBVA Compass Bowl. So there it stands, guys. You know where you want the Rebs to go, but let's make our picks for this week. Fred, who you got?
I have the Auburn Tigers defeating the Ole Miss Rebels 48-21.
Jacob, who you got?
I have Auburn 31-24. I just think the run game is going to be too much for the Rebels.
And I am taking Auburn also. They're sweeping the desk this week. Auburn 28-17 for the Tigers. Now that is all we have for you today. But follow us on Twitter at @Rebel_Watch for all things Ole Miss. Thanks for watching and have a good day.